All right, I'm coming at you today with a review of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Volume 4. Why am I starting at Volume 4? Well, that's because a little over a year ago, I wanted to get into Jojo, and I started with the Phantom Blood anime. Um, and I did enjoy it, and I watched quite a few episodes up until the Tarkus and Bruford fight. Um, I specifically ended right around the start of the Tarkus fight in the corridor. Not because I wasn't enjoying JoJo's or anything, just I was doing other things, reading other things. I think at the time I was reading Berserk. Or no, Berserk was before that. Never mind. I don't remember what I was reading. But I was reading something else that just had my attention more so than JoJo. And I always did want to circle back to JoJo, especially considering how massive it is. Um, I really do want to sink my teeth into it and read this series from start to finish. And so I've spent a little while catching up on the first three volumes, really, I guess the first four, um, but the final two chapters or three chapters was all new content to me. So, we open this volume with Jonathan Zappelli, Speedwagon, and that kid going up against Tarkus and Bruteford. So, one thing about Tarkus and Bruford is I really, really like their backstory. I think it's a super powerful element to their character, and it got me to care about them super fast. Of course, that was Volume 3. So we jump into this one straight in the fight between Jonathan and Bruford. Uh, I like Bruford's hair ability. I think it's extremely creative. I blank on the name, but it reminds me of the CP9 agent that Chopper fought in Ennis Lobby. Overall, I think hair abilities are just really cool in general. And then this fight, takes a dive in the water, literally. Um, and this is one thing I really like about Jonathan's character: is he's strong, he's tough, but he's not an idiot. Jonathan is an incredibly smart individual, and I think a fantastic application of this is when he dives down deeper to get air from the coal rocks underwater rather than swimming up when he knows that Bruford's just going to catch him in the hair. And that's one thing I really like about Jonathan is his just applied knowledge to his fights. Same thing with reusing the sharp pipe or spike, I can't remember, and his belt in his original fight against Dio in the mansion. I flat out love that fight between Jonathan and Dio in the mansion. I think it's extremely creative, and I always love how the environment is used in a lot of these JoJo fights. Um, they make it back up on the surface, and Jonathan does land a hit on Bruford. Now, one thing I really like about Bruford's character here is he sort of regains who he was as a knight, um, and honorably ends the fight with Jonathan. I thought that was incredible. Really, a lot of respect to Bruford. Then we move into the Tarkus fight, um, which we immediately start this with tarnishing Bruford by kicking his armor and remains. And I can understand, I guess, some of Tarkus's mentality, with just wanting to be the strongest. It's a little more basic, and that's why I do prefer Bruford as a character to Tarkus. Um, Now, what Jonathan and Zappelli do here, I must have forgot, or it wasn't in the anime. I really didn't remember it. Was they get a bunch of leaves and they make this glider, and then they fly down. I thought that was incredibly inventive. I love that part. Um, then this transitions into the corridor segment, um, and this is right around the time where I stopped watching JoJo. Um, I don't know if I'd watched the episode where Jonathan gets the chain around his neck, but that part felt new to me. And then him and Tarkus have a fight, and Jonathan's, losing. Um, I forget the kid's name, but the kid, we get a good backstory on him. I like him. It's simple and it works. Makes it in, opens the door for them. Zeppeli makes it in, and then of course we get the second half of Zeppeli's backstory with the prophecy that he's going to die. And I didn't know this was coming at all. Maybe it's because people don't talk about Phantom Blood a whole lot, but like, yikes! I thought, dude, okay, prophecy, he's gonna die, but that's not gonna happen. Um, and then sure enough, damn, he dies. Like he gets cut in half. I turned the page on that. I'm like, whoa, he actually dies. That's crazy. That was pretty much, in terms of being caught up and consuming new JoJo content. That was like the first thing was Zeppeli dies. I thought that's wild. Um, and then he clasps hands with Jonathan, transfers energy to him, and we get a great scene from Jonathan here. Kind of like a power up, cuts through Tarkus's arm, and then just smashes his head. I thought, dude, this is great. I still do prefer the Bruford fight with Jonathan being smart in that fight, using a lot of his applied knowledge, and then Bruford's respectful way he ended it, as opposed to Jonathan getting a power up and overpowering Tarkus. Um, and then, of course, we end off this volume with the goodbye to Zeppeli. And I haven't read any more so far, but I presume with the two of them gone, we are going to move on to face Dio in this city, or this town, in the hills here. And I'm really looking forward to well, I guess it would be round three, technically, of Jonathan and Dio. Um, I'm probably going to make a review video for every single volume of JoJo's that I read. So that's going to be probably a heavy focus moving forward. I'm really excited to just dive deeper in because I am absolutely loving JoJo's one hell of a lot. And that's going to be all for me today. Bye, guys.